I like how TikTok chat just back to back. Too bad the other ones were hot garbage, and Dragon Age Inquisition was fire. I don't think I played Inquisition. I know that I tried playing one of the other Dragon Age games, and it really let me down. Ooh, 3.5? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, is YouTube live now? I think YouTube's live now. I presume, I hope. We'll see. Army Hitch, thank you for the 6 months at tier 1. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. Voice, I'm having an okay day. You'll be happy to know my entire polycule has coerced me into playing World of Warcraft with them. I think that's just called a guild now. Alec Man, thank you for the Prime for the 9th month in a row. Welcome back to the dog home. Yo, boss, enjoyed the Bezos bucks. Also, I pulled a Wan Shi Tong. Should I put it in one of my decks that has blue in it, or is that card simply too powerful for bracket 2? It's totally bracket 2 appropriate. Let not the TikTok and the YouTube shorts reactions to that card deter you. That card is bracket 2 appropriate. It is fine. It is extremely good, but it is similar. I would class it like, and I'm gonna say this and you're all gonna freak out. I'm gonna class it similar to the Buster Sword. It's better overall than the Buster Sword is, but in terms of like having a safe ceiling, I think it is similar to the Buster Sword. I think every time you play it, you're gonna be like, wow, goddamn, this is super good. And it's hard to come up with a reason you shouldn't play it in a deck, which is I think the worst thing about it. Is it's such a generically good card because it triggers off of ramp, it triggers off of evolving wilds. Like searching your library is now happening at every single level of Magic play. That the most disappointing thing about it is that it can't have any thematic sauce because it's just so good. But Zerthroshak, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Welcome back to Dog Heaven. Oh, Shade, that's so nice. I'm glad you've received the Cloud and Sephiroth starter decks, and I hope deeply that you can scrap those decks for parts and make something playable. Maud, you gotta try Where Winds Meet. It's free to play, anime as fuck, and very Souls-like coded. I'll think about that. I've been having a lot of fun streaming XCOM again. I'm brewing an adventures deck. Who do you think is the best commander for that? It's probably Temur, unfortunately, or like 5-color good stuff. Alec, I would say it is based on how often your pod tutors or how often your local meta tutors, but I cannot think of a deck it should not go in because the floor of Wan Shi Tong is instant speed mana dump card draw. If it never triggers again in the game, you have decent instant speed card draw on a body, which is so hard to beat. Is there a good way to do Team Master Iroh's group hug rather than Harmless Offering? Probably not, because I believe it's Boros, which is going to be very color limited in what it wants to do. LT Klein, thank you for requesting a Commander Roast on YouTube. I am going to let you know, I will attempt to slot that into my memory. It is going to be more effective to just leave it on YouTube comment sections and TikTok comment sections, because that's where I scroll through to look for the next one. And then Jonathan, I cannot look at your deck list right now. This stream is dedicated towards people who have pre-purchased deck reviews on Ko-Fi. We do free deck review streams. The next one is going to be happening, I think, December 6th at the beginning of the month. And then Zerthroshak, thank you for the 200-bit cheer. Welcome back to the dog pile. Yo, Malt, happy Sunday. I'm going to be brewing Grixis Azula after pulling one at pre-release. It's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear. And then, all right, we got 4 minutes left, so I'm gonna bitch for my 4 minutes. Hey, that's awesome, Virgil. But I'm gonna bitch for my 4 minutes. So earlier this week, I talked about how I was really tired and my jaw really hurt, and I needed to sleep more. And people talked about like apnea, and they talked about like all these other sleep help things, and I was like, "Oh no, I just need to let my body sleep for like 18 hours because I can do that. I never have trouble falling asleep. I um I never have trouble falling asleep. Sometimes in my life, I just have to sleep for like 16 to 18 hours a day for a couple days, and then everything is good again." And like the day I said that, all of a sudden now I'm having trouble sleeping. The last 3 days, I know not when I have gone to sleep. I only know that it has been way too fucking late because when I am unable to sleep, I am not allowing myself more mental stimulation. So I don't wake up and play a video game. Like I don't get out of bed and go play a video game. I don't read a book. I don't, whatever. I just stay in the dark room until I get so bored that I fall asleep. And I think last night there was one point I broke and I just looked at what the time was. Didn't like doom scroll on my phone, but I tapped the phone to see what the time was, and it was like 1:30. And I was up for a bit after that. And I have no fucking idea what's causing it. So I'm doing all the stuff to try to course correct that. I did like calisthenics this morning. I walked a bit. I tried to get morning sunlight, which doesn't really happen in the Pacific Northwest, but I got what I could. And so we will see. But I am so just like, my body is so petty. My body is so petty. Never in my life has this been a fucking issue. And here I am, 12 hours after I tell you lot about it, unable to drift away. Hello, fun. I've been preaching slow release melatonin. I might try that if I am unable to correct it with more physical exercise. I think that I will be able to correct it by just being physically active the appropriate amount because I think my body does need I need like a hamster wheel. I do need like a hamster wheel to run on. Intario, I don't think I did. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for the 50-bit cheer. Can you recommend any shorter narrative games in the 30 to 40 hour range? No, because I have never really played narrative games. I haven't played narrative games since I was a teenager, probably. When I was a teenager, I got into World of Warcraft, and then I went from World of Warcraft to Dota 2 to League of Legends, and now I kind of bounce around those games, and I don't really have. Oh, I guess God of War was very, very good. And that took, I think Z and I, we definitely spent less than like 50 hours in that game. You can spend a really long time in that game, but you don't have to. Something along the lines of Baldur's Gate 3 or Witcher or Horizon, but half as long. Uh, I mean, I've played Baldur's Gate 3 and Witcher, and I liked those a lot. Let me open my Steam library. Hold on. Keyboard and mouse, thank you for coming to 20 streams in a row. And Obscura MTG, thank you for joining us on TikTok. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate it. Okay, we've got Rivals Season 5. Age of Wonders. What's in my library? I haven't really played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I have not played much of Warhammer 40k. Nine Kings is not narrative. Blueprints is way longer than 40 hours. We will have to look into this more on the other end of the first roast because the vamp timer did run out, but I will look into this for you, Ontario. So, with very little additional ado, the people we have today, and we have a little bit of a scheduling error, so we will have to handle that at some point. We have Fun, who is present in YouTube chat. We have Bolus Brigade, who is present in Twitch chat. We have Emperor Tromidlov Drolmai, who should be joining us in YouTube chat relatively soon. We had Comrade Gorbash, but they are rescheduling. And then, last but not least, Irish Webster appears to have purchased 2 roasts for the month. I'm not sure if one of those is for somebody else. I'm not sure if they are spinning the block with a different deck. I'm not sure if they want their own deck to be talked about even longer. We will see if and when they show up. So we're going to start with Bolus Brigade. And then we are going to go to Fun. And then we are going to go to Emperor Tromidlov Drolmai if and when they appear. And then we will figure out what's up with Irish Webster if and when they appear. Mehuker, thank you for the Prime sub for the 3rd month in a row. And Helios, thank you for reaching a 20 stream streak. I appreciate you being here. Daniel Sheraton, I think Space Marine 2 is cool. My computer, sorry, not even my computer. The last 2 computers I have had, I spend more time loading the game than playing the game. I don't even think that's anything against the game, because that's not the experience other people report. There's something about, like, the Adeptus Mechanicus just don't fuck with me. Because when I play Space Marine, I will have a half-hour loading experience to get one mission done. And so I just haven't, and so I just don't do it. The Cheat, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. Do you have the game installed on an SSD drive? I know what those words mean. Anyway, Bolus Brigade has sent in a spooky deck. Galadriel, oh god. Galadriel is a dirty, rotten robber baron who collects profits from 3 workers at a time but only pays for one of them, thus labor fraud. The goal of this deck is to generate 3 or more bodies with a single card, thus gaining all 3 of Galadriel's triggers as a sort of 4 for 1, because one of her effects is an anthem, the creatures don't have to be good. They will become high skill, high value workers, but will be paid entry level wages. Because 3 tokens per card is mana intensive and Galadriel costs 5, I tried to load up on early game ramp to get her out, and then she can start capitalizing quickly. The main strategy is supplemented and carried over the finish line with go-wide payoffs like Crater Hoof and Cracker Hoof and cheap interaction, so the floating green isn't wasted. Okay, let me just look at... Alright. Whatever, normal, 2 mana rocks, okay. 1 mana dorks. And then the ramp basically stops totally. Oh, come on! I don't even have the Vine Boom up yet. It's too early for this Bolus Brigade. It's too early. It's very important. It's very important that my cool cards make 3 tokens with 1 creature, unless it's the Simic Snake that goes in every deck. Oh, you poor boy. Oh! Why are we even doing this? Oh, okay, Andor. I thought this was zombie tokens. I was about to pass out. Okay. Token Anthem. Hell yeah. Alright. Oh yeah, enough removal to make the table hate us. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna watch me trigger Galadriel and you're gonna fucking like it. Okay, so stuff that will make the 3, because I don't even know if how many of those we've seen yet. Golodrum Ambush, if I underpay for Secure the Wastes, Spore Swarm, Grand Crescendo, March of the Multitudes. Okay, we've got 5 X spells that are instant speed. That's pretty decent. We got enough lands. Farseek, Nature's Lore, Rampant Growth. Okay. We're broke as shit. We're trying to pay for a manufacturing plant in Indonesia by picking up an extra shift at the McDonald's. I see you. Good hustle, good hustle. All right, reason. Hop to it! Hell yeah. All right, Crash of Worms definitely fucks. I'm at least with you there. See, this is why we can't allow hybrid mana, you guys, because Spectral Procession is going to become the go-to token maker for just every deck in the game. And we know this, right? And we know this, and we understand this. All right. So this is where I think we had the goggles on a little bit too tight, Bolus, because we went, I'm going to play Galadriel. How can I do Galadriel differently? I know I can ramp into making tokens into crater hoofing you with those tokens. And so this is where we have to draw a line between is this just a thing you want to do, or is this a narrative you want to actually pervade the table? Because frankly, it's not war crime action, it's very normal. This is not Henry Kissinger, this is not. This is one of those like AI startup founders who takes a picture of themselves with a laptop on an airplane talking about how they paid $600 for an 8-hour moving office and how they pushed 40 lines of code to product. I don't know how coding works, but you get the gist. And so we have an internal narrative for what this deck is supposed to be, and the external output is completely indistinguishable from what every other Galadriel deck is doing. And I think that is the most concerning thing against me, because we are making a mechanical sacrifice to do it. Hop to it sucks. Distract the Guards is a terrible goddamn card. So we are paying a deck building cost to achieve this gimmick, and then the gimmick cannot be differentiated from the good cards. Like, I doubt if you put this Galadriel deck and then a Galadriel deck that was just doing like Tender Shoot Dryad stuff in a lineup, they would not be able to pick you out. They would falsely identify you as the man fleeing the scene of the crime, of the value crime. I mean, Tom, you do need a backup. If we don't have tutors and we don't have a crazy amount of card draw, then just having a second one in the deck is like, okay, higher chance to draw it by the time I need it. Slushy Bucket, thank you very much for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. So I think first off, the goggles are on too tight for a bit that amounts to you going like, and this is what I call the thunder gun, see? And then you shoot a normal gun. And everybody looks at you, and you go, because it sounds like thunder, see? And then the table kills you with hammers. So if you're okay with the deck being, this is the thunder gun, great. We can work mechanically from there. What I worry about for the deck as it stands is if we want this to be a narrative through line, I don't think we achieve it. And in no small part, I don't think we achieve it because there are times at which we play just straight up better cards that don't achieve the stated goal. It's a very tough balance. I know the toilet snake is looking at you very lovingly. However, right? He is going to be the best card on the deck when you play him. Because you are going to have a board, you are going to have cast Hop to it, and then you're going to cast Coma, and then every upkeep you're going to put a counter on every creature you control, and then all of a sudden you have lethal. That is good mechanically, and also Hop to it didn't fucking matter in that situation. And so if we want labor fraud of I am exclusively underpaying for my labor, and I am exclusively like the thing, the engine, the steam engine moving this deck along is making 3 or more creatures at once. We can do that, and we can even do it with Coma. But you have to do it with this Coma. That at least, he's still going to be one of the best cards in your deck, but he is at least going to play along the lines of, I paid for 1 creature, got 4. That's crazy. I love indentured servitude. But I do think that I think there's a lot of stuff in here. I dig it. Okay. So if we want this gimmick to feel pervasive, what we have to do, and this is going to sound antithetical to building an effective deck, is we actually have to rip out all of these like useful motherfuckers who are not part of the game plan, who don't do that thing. They can ramp or they can do that thing, and that's basically it. I'm a Jane, thank you for the 15 stream streak. Cause like Arwen not doing the thing. She is, as best I can tell, she is not gravid. There is no C-section about to happen. This is just, what if I played a creature that made my board do a little bit better all of the time forever? Don't care. Same even goes for Champion of Lambhold. I know you want this to be an overrun synergy, but we already have enough ways to create trample or to end the game with our board of like little hop to it shitheads. We don't need to be investing. We don't want to be investing setup pieces that are obvious synergy pieces that are not an actual synergy with the thing we said we're doing. That's going to detract from the bit. And so what I would recommend to kill from that standpoint is Gallagreeters, Arwen, Champion of Lambholt, Jaheira, Rishkar, fucking Wood Elves, this Coma, but you just lateral it for the other Coma. I'm confused about, all of these make sense in a vacuum. I'm deeply confused about Call for Unity, because I don't understand how we're making anything leave the battlefield. I didn't see any flicker coming through this deck. I didn't see any like self-bounce to reuse our guys. This right now only seems like it'll trigger as a 5 mana. Please don't be mean to any of my creatures. Please, I will cry very loudly, and then I will hit you as hard as I can. And so I don't think this should stay, just because we're not utilizing the flicker. Cathar's Crusade is another thing that I think should probably go, not because it's bad, but because it's a setup card that is distracting from what we want the bit to be. If you are going to distract from the bit, you have to end the game. Hi, baby. They're over here.
I love you.
I love you. Yeah, not only are we introducing the nightmare that is tracking the fucking abacus game. Call for Unity's logic was mostly if I smash into a board and my creatures suck so they die. That is certainly a type of logic to apply. That is a crazy... What if I walked my creatures to their death so that the next time I cast Hop to it, they would be a little bit better? I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend making creatures and then having better ways to make your creatures actually get there instead of saying, "Oh, I'm gonna smash them into a losing situation." Especially for 5 mana. If you got to set this up on the board for 2 mana, great, whatever. Yeah, we can't use Russian army in the winter logic when we're piloting an already lower power commander. You could do, I'll tell you what, you could do that if you were running good token making, but we're doing bad token making. Like, we're already handcuffing ourselves. We don't want to be like, oh, I need my handcuffs to have fuzzy little loops for $1 million. This section I'm okay with. Now let's talk about your ramp, because all of this is wrong. All of this is wrong. You've committed the grave error of not counting, not figuring out how you want your curve to go. You want your curve every time to go, turn 1 I play ramp, turn 2 I play 3 mana ramp, turn 3 I play my commander. Basically, all of this 2 mana ramp is wrong and bad. Pretty much all of it. You are going to cut yourself off from some of the good dorks like Gwenna, because you're not casting creature spells. You're mostly casting instants and sorceries that make you all these extra guys. But what you really, really want is you want more 1 mana guys, and you want more 3 mana guys, and you don't give a fuck about, like, Incubation Druid, I realize is a cute payoff, because if you play Incubation Druid and then you do the 1/1 counter Anthem, 3 times as much mana. You are talking about minor efficiency gains, and you're trying to build a sweatshop. We have to focus on kidnapping. We have to focus on felonious land acquisition. So you care about Cultivate. You care about Kodama's Reach. You care about all of these juicy, juicy 3 mana spells that are going to get you more than 1 land. Because even though you're a 3-color deck, you are focused mostly in green to get the moving and the shaking happening. Because if you ramp in green and you're like, oh my god, it's turn 2, all I have are green pips, how am I going to cast my commander? Your 3 mana ramp will get your other 2 colors. So Kodama's Reach, Cultivate, Flare of Cultivation, but you're just paying for this. You're just paying for this. How justified is Soul Ring here? On a moral basis, not at all. On a mana-hungry basis, I do get it. And if we're talking about defrauding labor concerns, then I do think the Soul Ring is appropriate, unfortunately. Do we have a way to... Is Soul Ring ever justified on a moral basis? Yes, in bracket 4, bracket 5. Soul Ring is worthless here, like why bother? That's crack smoking. Soul Ring is one of multiple cards that let you go, turn 1, I play a ramp spell, turn 2, I play Cultivate, turn 3, I play my commander. Soul Ring's part of that. I hate Soul Ring. I don't like Soul Ring. I don't think you should play Soul Ring if you can find stuff to put in over it, but like 100% has a point. I'd love to not run Soul Ring, but if literally everyone else in my pod is always going to run it, then like, what do I do? You'd be better than them. What? Be a better person than them. Lord it over them every time you beat them without having to rely on Gadwick's universal cock ring. Congratulations. Congratulations, you've done it. You're a hero, and they're loser bitches. So let's see how this currently plays. Ah ha ha, beautiful. We have turn 1 ramp. Ha ha ha. We get turn 2. No fucking ramp. Because we're a greedy little bitch. We can't do this and then draw. So I think we go Itlamok, check top 4. We hit all of this ramp that would not save us. Gilmain, thank you for the 18 months in a row. Welcome back to the dog home. And we can't even take any of them. Turn 3. Let's see. Check. Still cannot play our commander. We can do Staff of the Storyteller and get a counter to draw a card. So now turn 4, we are going to play our commander. Turn 5, I think we can make it happen. I think we can make the desired outcome happen with Ant Queen. We go Ant Queen. First Galadriel trigger, we float 3 green mana. We use 2 of the green mana to make an insect. That gets us scry 2, draw a card. I don't care about any of these. I'll draw whatever this is. Jaheira. Then I will use Birds of Paradise and my remaining green to make an extra insect, and now I will put a counter on everything I control. Staff of the Storyteller has netted up to 2 counters on it now. And so we have not only done the Galadriel thing, we have done your specific Galadriel thing of I want to trigger all 3 modes at once. And now we have a useless fucking setup piece, a mana ramper at the point where we don't really need it anymore. Like, I really want to impress that upon you. Jaheira is the type of mana production that is not useful to us at the 3 mana slot, because at the time where we have enough tokens for Jaheira to do something, the game is mostly solved. All Jaheira can do for us is maybe, pump 12 mana into Secure the Waste. We can turn Secure the Waste into, I'm going to make twice as many tokens as I already have because I'm going to tap all my existing tokens for mana. And that is another thing that is mechanically viable and takes all the air out of the whoopee cushion that is your deck's bit. So I'm going to exile cycle these 2 and try to get something I actually care about. Yet another guy that we do not care about. Okay. So now I can give all my creature tokens flying. Doesn't do a whole lot for me. So actually, you know what? I can just hold all this shit up, and then I can pay into Ant Queen. Itlamok also would have flipped. Pay into Ant Queen. Token. Float 3 green. Token. One more. Token. There we go. I've done it again. I am the best Magic player in the world. And this is where we reach the issue of your gimmick, when executed correctly, looks indistinguishable from existing token gimmicks. Right, Ant Queen is the entire deck in a can. Now you could do a secondary bit of, do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants. That's a self-contained joke. People laugh at that all the time. But I think from here, the deck really plays itself, because we get to draw a bunch of cards. Oh, look, we don't care about any of these. We draw a bunch of cards. We go damning verdict. And then we start beating people to death. And we're still doing it a little bit slowly. Right? Like, we don't actually get these counters that quickly. But if we give them flying, +1/+1, and we begin repeatedly board wiping everybody who's not a token or everybody who's not a 1/1 counter player, we will win the game. And I think this playtest could have been greatly improved if we just had Cultivate, which is a terrible card, but would fucking save you here, because we get into so many situations, or we kept getting into the situation where we had Birds of Paradise, but we couldn't make something else happen. Birds of Paradise couldn't make something else happen. We had Jaheira in our hand, but she didn't really like change anything for us. She just gave us like more mana to twiddle with. Kind of same goes for Incubation Druid. Like we're playing a lot of low to the ground. We are playing ramp like we have a 3 CMC commander that's all 3 colors. That is where your current ramp section is appropriate. If by turn 3 I need to produce 1 mana of every color, makes sense. You need to produce 5 mana. You need to produce like 80% green in this deck. Okay, you gotta have a bigger forest than an 80s porn star. Plushy Bucket, thank you for subbing for 3 months in advance. Welcome back. Welcome to the dog home for the first time. I appreciate that very, very much. So stuff we could do. I don't think we can make this deck interesting, but stuff we could do to make it function better. Your interaction's already good. Your ramp needs to be redone to match every like source of 1 mana ramp I can fit. Every source of 3 mana, get me 2 land. You could even go 4 mana, get me 2 land. But what you don't want to do is spend more than 1 mana to only make 1 mana. If we're spending more than 1 mana, it has to, on resolution, get us 2 or more mana. And then that will set up the deck to get into what it wants to do relatively quickly. And then all of this over the top mana generation doesn't have to be there. It just doesn't do anything. It can be, oh, I'm gonna play, you know, if you don't have any other cute cards that you want to play, that's where it becomes stock up, because then it becomes stock up, where the fuck is my Ant Queen? If you do have a cute card you want to play, that's when it becomes the cute card. If there are more copies of Hop to it, where you were like, the deck ran out of room, this is where you put those in. Because once you can play Galadriel on turn 3, turn 4 you can take, turn 4, turn 5, vacation. Play dumb shit. Play stupid shit. Play idiot cards. I give you permission. But you gotta get out of bed on time. You gotta get out of bed on time. You gotta have water when you wake up. You gotta get morning sunlight directly onto your elvish taint. And you gotta walk a mile. And then you can play your stupid shit. Then you can play the cardboard version of Mega Bonk as you wait for the table to kill you. So let's see if there's any, like, off the rip. Like this guy. Devour 2, make a Saproling for each counter. This is gonna hit 3, like, instantly. Because you could go turn 1 ramp, turn 2 ramp, turn 3 Galadriel, turn 4, I play this guy, I eat a Mana Dork, and I put the 1/1 Anthem on, and then boom, on my upkeep, 3 guys, Labor Fraud. Then I would bring back in that bad 3 tokens common, and what you're going to want to get to is we will want to put in some better card selection to find our overrun effects, because you don't want the game to take forever. We don't want to be doing like, ha ha ha, check out my cute Labor Fraud deck. By the way, it's been 3 hours and I can't win. So put in Michaeloth, put in this bad 3 for 1 uncommon. And then I am going to sentence you to learning how to navigate a ship in the 1800s. Yeah, bring in Hunting Triad. You have room. And then you want to bring in good card selection so that when it is appropriate, you can just slam Crater Hoof. Because what you want, I think the best experience this deck could have is not, oh wow, it's a Bant Tokens deck. Oh wow, it's starting to get problematic. Oh wow, it's like they're like a bunch of 4/4s. They can't really do anything yet. Oh, now they're 20/20s. You want this deck to be like, check out this draft common. Check out this draft common. Check out this draft common. Now they're 11/11s with trample. Do something. And like that can take long enough that that's still a bracket 2 appropriate game plan. This is not going to go so quickly that you're like, oh my god, this deck's too heat. We can't handle it. Like you're going to make it to like turn 10, turn 11. And yeah, chat has been going crazy about one of my favorite overrun effects, Beastmaster Ascension. Deconstructor, thank you for sending a game controller on TikTok. I don't know what any of that means, but I appreciate every little bit of it. This is another phenomenal overrun effect where you just go from... This replaces your fucking 5 mana Eulogy. This replaces the 5 mana I'm gonna kill my guys on purpose. But like Kathar's Crusade, I think dies for tracking purposes. I'm trying to decide if I can trick you into playing Waterbender Ascension. I don't think our combat damage is good enough. See, Nick, the problem with Ouroboros is another issue where it immediately takes over as the best thing the deck can do. It immediately takes over as the best thing the deck can do, and we don't give a fuck about what the gimmick actually is. But it is a good card. Oh, hell yeah, get Weaver of Currents up in this bitch. He hasn't seen play since 1812. They had him fighting a war in France. He went missing in action. You found him. Sleeve him up. This is his chance. This is what the deck is about. This is what the deck is about. You flipping around an uncommon from Amonkhet and being like, he is a necessary part of my game plan. This is my Steph Curry. This is my Steph Curry. Can't be doing that Jaheira shit. She's too hot. World knows about her. She's too hot. She's too competent. She's too awesome. Get the turtle in here. He's 6 pennies. They stopped printing these. You want the Galadriel deck to be different? I need you to bring in a creature that you could not pay for in cash because they decommissioned the currency that is a small enough denomination to buy them. Say that sentence back to yourself. I need you putting in creatures you cannot buy in cash. Because the world has moved on from how broke they are. Please! Please! And this is also a creature that can be used to trigger Galadriel, and so there is a genuine argument for. I do think you still bring in like Cultivate and Kodama's Reach, but these are 3-mana ramp options that let you draw a card. That's not nothing. That is not nothing. And so I really think that would fix it up for you. Is you do a lot of 1-mana ramp. You will have to learn. You will have to like do some mulligan practicing with this deck because you are going to have to jump through some hoops on your pips. But what you want to get to is 1 mana, I ramp for 1. 3 mana, I ramp for 2. I play my commander. After that, I show you draft common, draft common, draft common, you die. And then we're locked. I think we have Avacyn's Pilgrim already. Cause yeah, like hop to it, that's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. More of these, please and thank you. Captain! I have 8 mana in Bant. I cast Captain's Call and I put 3 power on the board. Flee! Flee in terror! Hell yes. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And then, like, at the end of the day, you know, you're not going to win a Nobel Peace Prize for the deck because you're still doing, like, we're still doing token stuff, we're still doing counter stuff, but this can be very fun for you. This can be very fun internally. You will get to cast Crush of Worms more often than not. And it will probably require you to bring in some good card selection. I'm talking about like me when I draw from my dreams. Me when I stock up. Me when I... You could try Waterbender's Ascension. I'm a little bit light on it since you talked about how you were having trouble swinging to begin with. Ooh. Ooh. This is actually... Hold on. This is actually a freaky protection spell. It's a soft non-bow. It's a soft non-bow because it will remove 1/1 counters and it can't save your tokens. But if you have I don't think it I think too much of our stuff is on like sorceries. I don't think it actually gets a place. If you were doing more like creature ETB stuff and we wanted flicker spells, I'd be up on this. As it stands, I'm not up on this. All right. We're shoving you over in this corner, Bolas Brigade. I like what you're going for. I see what you're going for, and I do think what you're going for can exist in the way you want it to exist. But you got to clean up that runway, and we got to make sure that Hop to It is the most important card in the deck. It has to remain. Jesus Christ. Hop to It can't even get pulled up by searching its name. The more of these, more card selection. Don't play cards that are going to be outrageously better than what your gimmick is going to do. And then I think you will have a good time. So thank you very much for submitting, you brain worm-ridden piece of trash. I love you from the bottom of my heart. We're going to go to the manual ad break. And then, fun, I'm coming for you. What about Noxious Assault, bro? Ridiculous, Razaketh. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is not an alt win, Razakad. This is an alt spend 5 mana to do nothing. Oh, let me go to the vamp timer. I don't want 10. I think we're just going to do 5. Do you have recommendations for mono blue and mono red commanders? I'm trying to make a monocolor deck, but I'm unsure what to pick. I don't like the artifact nonsense in blue, and I'm unsure on red, but I like combat damage a bit more than pinging. No, I do not, because I don't really build a lot of monocolor commanders for the same reasons you are putting forth. I think the restrictions put forth by monocolor do not interest me. I do not think they are restrictions that cause you to be more creative. I think they are restrictions that cause you to build a deck that is more fragile, more narrow, and generally less fun to play against and to play as 90% of the time. There are a few standouts, but like for the most part, unless there's a mechanic that really, really scratches the itch for you, and you really want to play as, I just can't recommend it. I tend to veer towards the like 2-color decks, 3-color decks. Tarzard, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. What do you think of Trepanation Blade if people in your pod run minimal lands? This is cute, but this is not how I would punish a playgroup that didn't run very many lands. If I wanted to punish a playgroup that didn't run very many lands, and I wanted to be evil, and I wanted them to remember my name, I would run more sweeper hate for the artifact and weak creature ramp that they're probably running instead. If they're running really few lands because they don't need that much mana to win, then this is just too slow. But if they're running very few lands because they're like, ah, fuck it, I just hit my dorks. Ah, fuck it, I just hit, Soul Ring. I'm hitting them there. Because if they, a responsible adult is running 38 lands. An irresponsible adult is running 30. That's a really big difference in how many lands you will play throughout the average game. When it comes to triggering the blade of hitting lands, you're getting like 1 more trigger, two more, maybe 3. You're doing all this for +3, +0. I'm shooting the elf is all I'm saying. What color in Magic demonstrates the warrior spirit? I think mono red. I'll say warrior spirit specifically because I'm imagining a warrior who is also an idiot. Green is not the warrior spirit. You motherfuckers are trust fund babies who have had a world-class karate instructor teaching you how to kick somebody's head off from the day you were born. It is mono red. Green is far too good at generating consistent and long-lasting advantage. Like, you might have an argument for Elf Ball. Because Elf Ball isn't land ramping. Elf Ball is just like, I'm going to throw all my boys out here, and if you can handle my boys, I'm going to fall over and die. I can get with that. But if you're just like green stompy in general, you are realtors. You are realtors who bought a T-Rex fursuit and are going to a convention on the weekends. You are pretenders to the throne. Kronos, I do not know what the Pendragon format is. What kind of bracket is a deck that has 0 game changers but can go infinite turn 4? Bracket 4. Maybe like you could argue about the difference between bracket 3, bracket 4, but like going, oh, it doesn't have game changers, but it has the exact same outcome as a deck with a bunch of game changers. Like, yeah, the lack of game changers don't matter. Game changers are merely, those are just one of the metrics we can look at to figure out how aggressive is your deck going to be. If your deck is going to be highly aggressive and wins very quickly, and it does so without game changers, the lack of game changers has no impact on what's actually going on. That's going to be the end of the vamp timer. I'm going to go use the bathroom. If you're on TikTok, please think about heading to Twitch or YouTube, because the TikTok stream universally gets taken down every single time. I wish it didn't. I would love to just stream more on TikTok, but they nuke my stream from orbit, usually like 90 minutes into every stream. I personally think the warrior spirit is Boros. See, that's why I talked about idiot. The warrior spirit is not Boros, because Boros players wear cups. They have shields. They're blocking. That's not very warrior. The knight spirit is Boros. Boros is samurais. It's knights. It is, you know, responsible people who have trained in the art of war. They're not people that are just fucking scrapping. Bladinator, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Then we're getting fun. My drink! All right. Let's go find Fun's deck. This is a silly, comma scary. Oh. I don't like that. Because that's supposed to be. That's like if you told someone, yeah, my deck is bracket 1 and 4. What you mean by that, Big Cat? What you... Okay. The goal of this deck is to make everybody play a different deck than they brought. The best description of this deck is I'm trying to get into the place where as a game master, I can make everybody switch character sheets with each other and finish out the game as a different deck than they started with. I put in Aether Flux Reservoir so that I could referee letting people actually mechanically win as the deck they are playing as. The deck doesn't want to win, and I know you hate this. Of course I do, because I'm a fucking adult. Fun? We all miss Among Us, bro. That's the one part of COVID we all miss. I love D&D. Buy the goddamn player's handbook, okay? I will mail you this shit, brother. Please, to free this evil from the world. You said the point of this deck, I want to make myself the game master where I can make other people play with the character sheets I give them, as if that wasn't a real fucking thing you can already do. You can just do that! Why is your name alive, Fun? And it's Aminatu too. Holy shit. We all love Toto. You can't just boogie woogie people without consent, brother. What the fuck is happening here? The commander has nothing to do with the combo other than the -1 restarting the combo. You are a liar, fucking start to finish. Start to finish. Okay. Are we... Jesus Christ. Okay. So we are... I'm not even gonna try to sort this shit out. Quite frankly, I trust you. Quite frankly, I'm in your evil lair right now. You've shown me a large firearm and said if I point this at you, it makes you shit. Do you want to test it? No, I don't. I believe you. I'm gonna accept on faith. I'm gonna accept on faith that this can happen. And you can turn the game of Commander into Uno. Why didn't you ask to play Uno? You know the worst part about this? Is because I'm a YouTuber, I know why this deck exists, and unfortunately, if we could get you on a gameplay show, this would cook. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that this was born from goddamn... You didn't see it on YouTube. I'm not saying, when I say born from it, I mean the same brain sickness that causes people to play Commander with shock collars on is the exact same type of shit that would lead to somebody playing this on an actual play show, and in the pregame they're like, I'm the devil. I am the devil from the Bible. Okay. Right, it would be good for an episode and then other people would build it and not get why their playgroup ages 10 years. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this up off screen. I'm gonna pull up a photo of Fun. I believe I've identified who they are in the real world. So I'm gonna dox Fun right now, and I need you all to think about who, and they're well known. I need you all to think about who would play a deck like this. Who would just care so little about their friends that they would just fucking just barge in with their own thing. No respect. No, not even a polite request to maybe play a different game, but no, I'm forcing you to play my game because I know who the fuck you are, Fun. You are Cosmo goddamn Kramer. You are Cosmo goddamn Kramer if you actually had to live next to this motherfucker. Not if you had to watch an episode of Seinfeld. Watching the episode of Seinfeld, good. I get it. I respect it. This is living next to Cosmo Kramer, and it's 5 a.m., and you hit snooze on your alarm, and this motherfucker barged in. I've got 18 eggs, Jerry. It's time to make a cake. It's time to make a cake. No, Helios, I'm being very specific about this bit because my understanding is the actor who played Kramer did a slur crash out, but that is not Cosmo Kramer. There's two very different things. This is a little bit of like separating art from the artist, but my understanding is that the actor who plays this man is the one who had the insane crash out in which he was very racist, but that is not part of Cosmo Kramer's identity in the show. Yeah, the actor who is not Cosmo Kramer. I'm saying this is literal, physical representation of the character Cosmo Kramer brought to life. Nothing to do with the actor. No, it's not really any of the Seinfeld characters. It's not. I could at least stand hanging out with George. Jerry might make me exhale heavily through my nose. They're all pretty terrible to live next to, but notably, only one of them comes running into your fucking apartment and says, "Stop playing chess. We're playing freak checkers now." How do you play freak checkers? It's checkers, but I put butter in your shoes, you dumb bitch. Why aren't you laughing? That's you. That's you, you piece of trash. You goddamn invalid. Backup combo piece. Okay, so this is all just to like bring stuff back, restart the combo. You know what? I believe it. I think the only thing you can't, never mind. You can't save this deck. Never mind. I'm sorry. My fault. Land based, unfortunately. One tremendously based card. One tremendously based card. Nerathiel Inc., thank you for the 100-bit cheer. I have a PhD in freak checkers. Don't do that. Don't do that. Put the butter down. Obligatory 3 removals. Okay, reasonable. Ramp. 42 fucking lands. Holy shit. I feel like you can't even get to this combo realistically. So I go what? I have a colorless land and a blue source. I don't think I can keep this hand. So I have one land. I have 42 lands. I'm somehow getting one. I have one land in High Tide. It's reliable on turn 7! Okay. If this is a turn 7 combo, then I will update my evaluation to it has to be thrown into Mount Doom to I would accept this for bracket 4. I would not accept this in bracket 1. I would not accept this in bracket 2. I would not accept this in bracket 3, but in bracket 4, if they let you do it, they should have to play that game out. Why not? Because the gimmick is fucking awful. It's quintessential exposition. So let's think about it this way. It's quintessential exposition, but it is not proactive exposition. You are playing a control deck. And turn 7, if I was going to try to rules lawyer you, I would say being forced to play a deck that is not yours is roughly equivalent to losing the game. In the sense that it's not what they came there for. It's no longer Magic. It is the exact opposite because they are no longer allowed to showcase their strategy. The strategy is being showcased, but if you argue that the strategy being showcased is the same thing as being able to do your thing, we are just being facetious. The intent isn't winning, it's sharing. So the intent not being winning is not enough to mean it is bracket 1 appropriate. That is a prerequisite to being bracket 1 appropriate. But if I go, I could make a deck. Here, I'll spin it up right now. I could make a deck that was Urtai resurrected, and I could write a Wattpad fanfic about how Urtai had been resurrected as Captain Planet, and he wanted to teach the Earth the value of composting, and so the only thing he cared about was the table being as empty as possible so that it wasn't polluted, and so that the lands could exist in harmony with each other rather than having to deal with people. And then I could build a deck that only seek to destroy every non-land permanent ever. The intent would not be winning. The intent would be the narrative exposition of my Captain Planet character, and it would be completely inappropriate. It would be completely inappropriate. And we know this. And again, if we're trying to rules lawyer, I think the entire goal of again bracket 4, this actually becomes hilarious. Yeah, fuck you. But bracket 1, if we're gonna rules lawyer it, sure, you're prioritizing a goal over power. We tick that box. Highly thematic or substandard. We tick that box. Actually, I don't know if we do. We have Aether Flux Reservoir, which is certainly not a substandard win condition. And then gameplay to be an opportunity to show off your creations. Just the phrase show off your creations. If I am no longer the one showing off my creation, we have now walked exactly opposite of bracket 1. Just off that bullet point. I think what it's encouraging you to qualify it as bracket 1 is like, this is bad. This is terrible. This is terrible and no good. But at the end of the day, it is still poisoning somebody's Cheerios. This hand looks like it does it. Probably. I have Vedalken Orrery. I can get something from the grave. I have Great Intelligence's Plan. Maybe this doesn't do it because I can't fix my mana. I can't fix my mana ever. So no, I'll keep this. I will Temple Soul Ring. Rafine's Tower. Can't do anything. Mystic Cove. I can get something from graveyard to hand. I can't. No. I can Amanatu because I can Soul Ring and then I can like double tap Mystic Gate or double tap Rafine's Tower, and then it works. So I can draw a card and I can put a card back. I don't think any of these super matter, so I'll just put the wall back. I could go Vedelkin Orrery, but I'll just Great Intelligence's plan. Tremendous. Woof. I think if they let me do whatever I want. What's this backside do? I mean, this is, fuck, that's nothing. Holy shit. What's up, gang? I'm Mauled We're getting a fresh 7. Alright, I have Mystic Confluence now. Now, here's all my lands. Oh, fucking hell, dude. Alright, turn 5. I do this. I can Signet Ramp. I can Confluence. I'm picking draw 3 cards, brother. Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord, have mercy! Fun. I think you've missed your calling. I don't think deck building is your thing. I think what you want to be is like an egg timer. I think you're like... I think this is your spirit animal. You want to be a brick of C4 attached to a countdown timer, not a Magic player. Not losing the bracket 1 allegation. See, the thing that I think you believing that playing ineffectively is the same thing as playing bracket 1 is something that you should probably confront inside your psyche. Because that is a mismatch that, like, I doubt you are truly maniacal enough to be, like, exposing Gen Pop players who don't know what the fuck is going on to this deck. Like, it is for sure a gimmicky deck to do a gimmick. But if we believe that a bad and slow playtest a bracket 1 deck makes, we gonna have some issues. Yeah, close pod's fine. I do think this is very funny as a countdown timer deck for your high power pod. Like, oh, that's crazy, Jimmy. Did you not put your win con together? You play Tom's deck now, bitch. Maybe you'll have better luck with Green Stompy, idiot. Bozo. Nice try. Move on. Nice try. Move it along. You had your chance. You had your time. You missed the win con. VSS Cyanide, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. Razaketh, you are allowed to ask for advice, but I try not to change subjects from the deck at hand while we're in the middle of a deck row. So you can during the vamp timer. So I think there are a million ways we could improve the deck. Most of those ways are cleansing fire. Most of those ways is the cleansing power of holy fire. But this is a very funny sentence. I will give you that much. A lot of people come up with gimmick decks that either don't work or have terrible outcomes, and like the sentence isn't funny. This is a thing I could genuinely see happening on a gameplay show. Really, what would you change? It Quite frankly, it seems like we're doing a lot of like clever tutors. It seems to me like this deck does not have game changers because of the belief that it could coexist as a bracket 1 deck. I think if you instead play it as a like bracket 4 gotcha, then we're just missing like every super good hyper efficient tutor. I can run it in bracket 3. In that case, I would still say we're missing hyper efficient tutors. Like I don't think there's any argument that Vampiric Tutor would not help you to some degree in this deck. I don't think there's any target that, Demonic Tutor would assist to some degree. But I think that's most of what could do it. Is we have a million different like 5 mana combo backups, and we have very few cards that are dedicated to actually like finding the card that we need. Yeah, like I struggle to believe that even the humble I struggle to believe that even the humble like drawn from dreams isn't the type of effect that you would benefit from in this deck. I'm not sure exactly what you could swap it for because I'm not familiar enough with the combo and the play patterns, but we have so many backups that there is no way it is just I cannot accept the premise that all of these backups contribute to the deck in a equally meaningful manner. And whenever I see that, I genuinely think like, okay, take the worst 50% of your backups and replace them with cards that dig good or with tutors. And then you end up with a slightly more functional, slightly more reliable thing. So that's what I would recommend. Is it seems like yeah, and it does make sense that because you thought the theme was low power, you really, really restrained yourself. And I think if you ease up on those restraints, this becomes a funnier high power deck. High power. It becomes a like. It becomes a Mario Party. It becomes a Bowser space. That's what this deck is. It's a fucking Bowser space. I think my high power pod hates this. Then cleansing fire. Then cleansing fire. If they hated it affectionately and it was a funny thing to do every once in a while, I just can't imagine a bracket 1 pod. Like if you've had a bracket 1 pod that enjoys this, your lived experience takes precedence. When I've played in bracket 1 pods, those have never been the games where the person sits down and wants to go like, oh yeah, I'll play not the deck I worked on. Like bracket 1 pods, people are showing up to play PowerPoint night and saying, oh, you actually have to do that guy's PowerPoint now, can be funny, but it requires all 3 people to have a pretty open mind, and it requires all 3 people to be capable improvers. And I think that's a really hard balance to find. And so I think if this is going to exist, it has to exist as like bracket 3, bracket 4, and if it needs to exist as bracket 1, that is like you keep that is like 30-year-old special reserve wine. You got to keep that in the basement for the right group because it does taste like piss, but to the right people, that piss is golden. So I'm putting you straight away in the containment zone. But I do actually think this is a funny idea. I think it's a funny idea. Terrible thing to do, but very funny sentence. Game Goose, congratulations on pulling Firelord Azula. And now let's spin back to VSS Cyanide. You donated your Bezos book to Sasha Gray, who streams, apparently. That's crazy. What a career pivot. She makes music and plays games. It's dope. That's awesome. Good for her. Fun, I swear to God, you make one more pun with your name, I'm sending you to the goddamn Shadow Realm. You're going to Detroit, all right? You're going to goddamn Detroit. All right, so Fun, you are going immediately into the containment zone. But thank you very much for submitting and showing us this monstrosity. We're going to the manual ad break, and then Emperor Tromidlov Drolmai or Irish Webster for the second time. Present yourself. Buzz Lightyear, there are 3 ways to get a deck review. 1, we do free deck reviews at the beginning of every month. The next one is happening December 6th. 2, you can buy commission on Ko-Fi for one of these deck review streams. Those sell out in about 90 minutes every month. They're sold out for this month. They'll go on sale December 7th. 3, if you have a lot of money, a lot of love for me, and no patience at all, you can pay $500, 500 big ones, half a band, and I will stop what I am doing and review your deck live. I will glaze if you desire. You can also pay $694.20 to have my girlfriend roast the deck with me. They are the main character who is also a Magic content creator. Yeah, nobody's ever done that. Certainly not Dungeon Masters Consortium. And I'm certainly not incredibly grateful for it. Azzy1505, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Hey, Maud, love your videos and just wondering what would be a funny card to add to my Noctis deck if you are not pre-proxying fishing gear already. Get it going. If you are not fishing, get to fishing. $500 big ones to drop everything and judge my deck building sounds kind of funny. It is funny. And that is, I mean, the reason that is an option is because I was streaming this one day and somebody was like, okay, but how much to get it done right now? And I said, you can't get it done right now. You have to get a commission and schedule it ahead of time. And they were like, surely there is a price at which you would do this right now. Be serious. And I was like, okay, sure. There is a price at which I would drop what I'm doing with the current customer and current audience and do a different thing. And it's obviously not $1 million because I'm doing this anyway. $500. And then they spent $500 and I laughed and I cried a little and then we did the deck and now it's an option. Is the top deck you played on Decked Out just one for content, or do you plan on keeping it? That one was just for content because the decks we played on the Avatar episode of Decked Out were powered down to allow the bending and allow the flavor to come through a little bit better. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Toph that's very high power. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Azula that is a very quick Voltron kill. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Iroh that is just like ramp into an infinite. But all of those decks were built to show off more cards from the set, to show off more of the like specific commander interactions that didn't win a game instantly, all that type of stuff. Do you regret that? No, I think it was awesome. And I think there is a genuine dearth of deck building like that. I think that a lot of and I don't watch a lot of commander content, but the commander content that I do see typically revolves around the like same 5 combos being trotted out in different trench coats. I think there's enough of that. I don't think there needs to be none of that. Obviously, people enjoy watching it, and it's getting people excited about maybe playing those combos themselves. But I do think that, like, and I have no fucking say in what Decked Out is filming, by the way, but I think it's good that Decked Out isn't trying to compete as, like, you know, show number 8, where me when silly haha combo that we all saw in a YouTube short happens on the screen. because it's already saturated with people who are doing it very, very well. Snowing Lizard, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. Not meant to be mean. During the decked out episode, did you forget Earthbending gave haste? Earthbending gives haste? Hold on. Holy shit, with haste. Oh, wallahi. I gotta make a call. No, I had no idea Earthbending gave haste. I would have been moving crazy different if I knew that. I think there was Can somebody I need to clip this actually. I need to write down when this happened because that's gonna be a good. Where's my pen? Okay. Legit thought you were doing it for the bit? No, no fucking clue. I think that episode had a couple of misplays. Like another one I saw people point out was, I'm gonna be so real, especially if you see me in an outfit. All of my brain power during those games is on trying to be funny. It is on like, what silly thing can I do? What silly thing can I do to make somebody laugh? And so there was another misplay that happened where I think I animated a Darksteel Citadel, but I animated it in a method that was different from Earthbending. And so then there were two misplays off the back of that because it got exiled, and I thought it was one of my Earthbent lands, and so I brought it back tapped. And so that was one of the misplays, and then I had like I think I also gained life from animating it with Earth Kingdom General, which would that have still worked? But this was how I animated it, and I think that this shouldn't have gained me life because the creatures go on like the line before, or the counters go on the line before it becomes a creature. So yeah, that was just me straight fucking it up in the attempt to be kooky. Now, the 9 life didn't matter. I do think Darksteel Citadel coming back mattered. Like, I think that was a misplay where if we had noticed it live, we would have like gone back and redone the turn. Because the 9 life off of this card, not important in the grand scheme of the game. Getting the land back, I think, was important in the scheme of the game. Yes, Ryan, if I had Earthbent it first, I would have gained life, but I did not. And I thought that I had Earthbent it. It's Daza, man. What do you need my help with? What does my goon need help with? Also, making one more call, Emperor Tromidlov Drolmai, Irish Webster, you are both on the list for today. Please apparate. I got a 3/6/1 Katara and I don't know what to do. You got a serialized Katara? Which one? I'll call Ben Bateman right now. They're a serialized Katara, potentially, based on what Dazzleman's telling me right now. Oh, is 361 the art code? Maybe. Hold on. 361 did, yeah, is it collector number 361? Is there a 361? What Katara are we talking about, dog? The Fearless. Oh, we got one of these. Wow, if only that was a good card. Oh, wow. That's dope. That doesn't even have a price on it. Uh, I mean, me personally, I'm selling that shit. Me personally, I am selling that. I like Katara the Fearless, man. I do hate on this card a little bit harder every time just because I know you will defend her. I want you to know that. Anytime I see you in chat, I'm like, I gotta make fun of Katara the Fearless today. Like I gotta hate on Katara the Fearless today. I gotta remember. Because I know I'm gonna be like, fuck this card, and you're gonna come in chat like, I think it's fine, man. I think it's a totally usable card that has potential. Every time I'm she sucks. These ones are like $2,000 each. Then yeah, Dazzleman, if you are new, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know how. Okay. Um I think there are a couple ways, right? You can try to sell directly to a marketplace. You could try to sell it to a game store. You are probably going to get a lower rate from a game store than from a direct peer-to-peer sale. I am not personally familiar. With like forums or what you would do to try to list a card like that, but you could list it on a marketplace like TCG Player. Yeah, a game store is going to give you like 70%, which on a card like this is a pretty big cut. If you are trying to sell it to a person, do not just take the first offer. Slow roll it. I live in New Zealand. That could make it a little bit more difficult because you're probably going to be selling to like an American unless Post Malone goes down there again. Yeah, that shipping is going to be tough. I like how we got one comment on Twitch saying, honestly, Facebook Marketplace has done wonders for me. And another person said, every time I use Facebook Marketplace, I take significant psychic damage. I wouldn't do it on eBay. I just pulled that card Friday. Cheyenne, did you pull this art too? Because we're talking in chat with somebody who opened this version of the art. It's $100 for shipping. Yes, I did. Holy shit, somebody in TikTok chat also opened one of these. Are you selling this, Cheyenne? You could trade your cards to each other. That's diabolical. Also, I opened one collector pack and got it. God damn. That is so lucky. Congratulations. Yeah, hold on. Are people even buying these? No, we don't even have like we don't even have like listings for this right now. Are there any listings on TCG Player? Okay, latest right now, the listings are there's one for 2K, there's one for 1650, and another for 1650. And these are from game stores. So Cheyenne, I would keep that card very, very safe. And I would personally be leaning towards selling in that situation. Only collector pack I've bought two. That's so insane. We had two different people who bought one collector pack from this set and both opened a $1,600 card. Keep it safe, wait for better numbers though, it's pre-sale. Don't numbers usually go down from pre-sale to typical sale? So I don't know if waiting for I would see the wait for better numbers thing if it was like, I hate to drop this truth nuke on Alec Man again, but if this was a good card, if the card's really rare number goes up. Do we know how rare it is though? We have two people in this stream who have opened it. How rare can it be? Holy Chief, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. Game Goose has a 1.2k right now. Bidding war mid Twitch stream. It's gold soulstone rare. Let's look at soulstone and see how those prices tracked. Gold stamped signature like this. Is there a nope. Okay. Oh, that's just the art card. Hold on. How the fuck do you navigate this shit? Anyway, so the base soulstone cratered. So soulstone borderless cosmic foil. This one. Oh! Ah! Ah! Woo! Lego Lex, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Yeah, we don't have anybody buying yet. Lupo could come through. I will pay 1.2k in shipping, I swear. Game Goose, stop lowballing people in my Twitch chat. God dang it, man. Thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home. Who buys those? Fucking famous people. Like I've talked about this before, but like when I have talked about my like the financial difficulties of being a content creator, all content creators take that deal because the top 1% of Americans make so much fucking money, they can set it on fire for anything. If you're like, oh my god, who has that much money? Millionaires and billionaires. Guess what? They have it. And they spend it on things like this instead of taxes. Instead of us getting food stamps. Like people like Jeffrey Bezos. Bezos could come flick a fucking Amex card at you, pick this thing up. Maple Tree Frog, thank you for the 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Welcome to dog heaven, my friend. How much money did Post Malone spend for the One Ring? Oh, right, like, yeah. This card exists instead of a national train system. 2 million. Like there is a point at which money just like stops being real. Like the more money you have, the easier it is to make more money. It is a genuine, the feedback loop is genuinely similar to an idle game in the sense of like if you went from I have no idea how to put like hard numbers to it, but if you were talking about relative difficulty, if you already had $1 million, it's so much easier to get to $10 million from $1 million than it is to go from $100 to $1 million. Like the types of risks you are able to take, the types of high ROI situations you are able to get engaged in while not having to worry about housing security or food security or healthcare security, it just becomes a self-fulfilling cycle of making more and more money. And like there was like a microcosm of this is when I was still rowing, before I was making content at all. I made some money off of shorting GameStop. I was one of those people, or who held GameStop, sorry. I was one of the people who were holding GameStop for the what's his fucking name? It's Deep something. There was some like Redditor who was like holding a shitload of GameStop and was like, yeah, the deep fucking value, yeah, deep fucking value, deep value, yeah, DFV. Um, a friend and I were like, yeah, we're gonna hold GameStop, and we made some money. We didn't make like, we made like life changing money, but not life securing money. I think we made like 10 grand, or like I made 10 grand, he made some other amount of money, and I was like, holy fuck, money's awesome. And and once I had 10 grand, I was able to do a bunch of other dumb shit with options and a bunch of other I at one point in my life, I spent a 4-digit sum of money on Dole stocks because I heard about a like banana blight in a country that competed with Dole to provide fruit and shit. That's how big of an idiot I was. And do you want to know what happened? Because I had the $10,000 and because I had spent like I'd put like over half in just an index fund, all of the money I lost on that stupid fucking Dole thing did not matter because the index fund had gone up. And that is what like mega rich people get to do on just an order of magnitude bigger. You can take all of these like huge, huge risks and have them not impact you negatively because you have enough money that you can put a shitload of money in a safe investment, and then you can just like YOLO a bunch of money on an options play or on a long stock play. And if it pays off, boom, now you are a multimillionaire instead of a millionaire. Lulu, thank you for the 5 real super chat. Knowing you used to have GameStop stocks made me lose a little bit of respect for you. Why? We were right! We were right, and it was fucking hilarious. I did the same thing with Bitcoin like a decade ago. Could I please get top 3 card suggestions for a birthday Bilbo deck? Yeah, 1 sec. I got you, boss. What's the best place to sell the neon I'm not used to selling? I don't know because I am also not used to selling. DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Eat the rich and the card, coward. Be a true leftist. Real. The important part is that the boss is not still holding GameStop and or Bitcoin. Right. Right. That is the important thing. That is the important takeaway from this conversation. That is the important truth. That is the important truth that we all have to respect. That I am not still. I am not still holding GameStop. I don't even know. I think I am still holding Bitcoin because I think I just like never like there's some amount that I just fucking forgot about. I do not trade Bitcoin. I'm not investing in cryptocurrencies, but I'm pretty sure I have a wallet somewhere and I've got like 70 fucking bucks, you know, like 1/10 millionth of a Bitcoin or something. And so I'm technically I'm holding Bitcoin, I think. I I do not know. Um What's your opinion on Ulalek and the 99 of Azula Doc deck if the hybrid mana changes occur? Will you let it resolve? Um, I mean, probably not, but I'm probably not letting any of your Eldrazi setup engines resolve, right? Like, that's not an Ulalek specific thing. That's like, oh, fuck, the value Eldrazi came down. Like, I'm not letting any of that shit resolve. Slumber, buy a precon. 100% precon first. Don't try to build the deck from packs if you are unfamiliar with the game. It's going to be confusing. The deck is going to be substandard, and you're going to spend a bunch of money, and it's going to make you feel bad. Get a precon. Anybody you think looks cool. More recent precons tend to be a lot better than most of the older precons. But just get somebody who has that shit on, and you'll have a good time. Oh yeah, Cheyenne. Very good idea. If you're going to bracket 4, yeah, just put Rhystic Study in the deck. Just be like, yeah, I'm evil too, but I'm evil and funny. I'm the Riddler. You guys are bank robbers. I'm the Riddler. That's the energy you want to have. But there was, I think what got me to like really, what got me to really stop investing, and I'm saying it in air quotes because I was investing like a fucking moron, is my friend who I had done the GameStop thing with lost all of the money they made on options because they did not put any of it in an index fund. And so I don't think they didn't like go into debt, go bankrupt, anything, but they had made like a potentially life-changing amount of money like I did, and then all of it was gone like 2 weeks later. And then I think like a year after that, I had another friend who was like really into like crypto trading, like active crypto trading. And I didn't do it super actively, but I would listen to their recommendations, and I think I like, you know, I would make a couple $100, lose a couple $100. I basically just went flat on all that. Um and then I found out like a couple months later that they were like thousands of dollars in credit card debt because they had been fibbing about how successful their crypto trades were going, and they had been putting all of their money into crypto trading and like putting that shit on their credit card, and they got their life back on track. But I think those two experiences, because those were with people that I like otherwise respected as level-headed people who understood putting off immediate gain for like long-term financial security. And so I think content became my gambling, genuinely. I think it became like I'm going to stop gambling with my money to try to make a shitload of money, and I am going to gamble with my time. And if content creation goes like mega viral, I will end up rich somehow. If you get enough views, you just end up rich. I'm pretty sure the fucking YouTube fairy drops a briefcase with $1 million off at your house. And I do think that was one of the things that got me to switch up from being like, I'm gonna stop doing this shit and I'm just gonna try to be a silly guy because this is like ruining people's lives. And then I should be investing more heavily, or I should be investing in index funds because I'm not currently investing in index funds because there's been a period of time where Z and I were talking about like saving for a down payment, but we keep not doing it because of the political situation in the US and we're not confident in like the safety of owning our own home. You know, National Guard's about to get deployed to any state that votes blue. So I'm not exactly confident that having the deed to a home is going to fucking matter to these fascists. Um so we don't have a lot of money, but we do have money that should be in index funds because right now it's sitting there doing nothing. But yeah, like it feels very difficult to make any type of long-term financial plan right now because it's like, oh, the stock market is propped up by like 8 different bubbles. Yeah, Tom, I don't want to pick up a 50-year mortgage. And even if I do pick up a 50-year mortgage, maybe my house gets repossessed by the state because I have wrongthink. Not a lot of super attractive options. So right now I do like no investing. And I should do it because I should at least be in like a bond or like a CD, something that has non-zero return. No suggestions for Bilbo, just trash it. Okay, actual suggestions. I don't play a lot. I don't play a lot of life gain decks. So I'm gonna hit you with generic goodies. What stops them from repossessing your bank account for a wrong thing? That's very true. I think that's a legitimate thing that could happen. I don't think it being in a bank account is necessarily all that much safer than it being in a house in the current state of the government. But I think that it's lower effort than being in a house. If you're not already running Stargaze, run Stargaze. DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Wheels and Confessor, boss. Wheels and Confessor. Stop having wrongthink. I will repossess your bank account. Stargaze, especially if you're in a deck with green that can ramp into having a lot of mana, this card is fucking crazy style. This card is insane. Insane. And so if you're not already running this would be a good all-around card advantage type thing. If you are playing into other token players, DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Have you not already repossessed my bank account? I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. All right. If you don't have War Report already, you could do War Report. If you combine this with like a life gain doubler, this will give you a shitload of life, particularly if anybody at your table plays a token deck. Where is this fucking card, man? Hold on, it's in EDH rec for our command, right? I know that. Isn't the point of a 50-year mortgage to get into a house early and then refinance later? That could be the point. I am just a little bit untrustworthy of something where we go, yeah, the point of this is for you to not have it. And then I don't trust the capability of people to meaningfully refinance with the government crashing the shit out of our economy. Ah, congregate. This is the other card. Congregate is the other good card. Final call for Emperor Bromidlov Drolmai or for the second coming of Irish Webster. Am I Danish? No. I may have Danish ancestry. I'm not sure. All I know is I'm very white. Would you like a Danish? Oh, I love Danishes. I could actually go for a Danish right now. What I could. Oh man, so there's a baker who lives in our town. He has a tremendous bakery. Makes the best shit ever. It's impossible to get any of his fucking pastries because like the business has gone so well that I think he's independently wealthy at this point because when I've spoken to him, like he spends half his day at the fucking casino. Bro does baker hours of like he's up early, but he like opens the bakery at like 8 a.m. and he's sold out by like 10:30 and then he just fucking leaves. And respect to him, I would be doing that shit too, but I can't get any of the man's pastries. I can't. You show up at like 9:20, there's one croissant left and he's like almost quitting time. Lulu, thank you for the 10 real super chat. Hey, if none of the roasties for today show up, could I preempt my roast? Would be on Wednesday, but I have to accompany my father to the hospital. Have no idea if I'll be available. May pay extra. Typically, I would say yes. Today, I'm going to say no because I have to turn in an ad read by like tomorrow at 8 a.m. and I have not started on it. And so this is one of the days where I have so much other stuff to do that I don't think we can. If you need to preempt your roast, here's the deal I will make you. Tomorrow, we're going back to MTG Arena and we are drafting Avatar. If you can be here at the beginning of tomorrow's stream, I will start tomorrow with your roast because I do want to be amenable to the health constraints of your father. I hope that he either the test goes well or his health issues clear up soon. I hope that he is all right, and I do want to be respectful of that. So if you can show up noon tomorrow, we can do it then to get it done early. But if the other two for today don't show up, I'm gonna tomorrow I should be starting at noon. Today was late. I was getting Z coffee and I was doing like more calisthenics and walking to try to get my own mind right because I slept very poorly. My dad's mostly fine. He's a tank. Wonderful. Do we know when the next possible XCOM stream is for your addicts? Probably Tuesday. We're not getting a custom card stream this week. Z and I are going to PAX Unplugged. So Thursday through Sunday, or actually, oh fuck. Z and I are going to be out of town from this coming Thursday to next Thursday. So there is actually a roast stream next Wednesday, the like 20 whatevereth. Wednesday the 26th is going to have to be rescheduled. Z and I are going to PAX Unplugged, and then we are staying later to film stuff with Scry Babies. So it's been 2 years of being like ships in the night with them. and trying to figure out a time we could go film with them and not being able to do it. And now we're finally gonna get to do it. Lulu, I'm in the Pacific time zone, so PST. Boz, Congregate's going to be a better workaround if the other people at your table are playing a lot of creatures. If you're the only person that's playing a lot, or if you don't play a lot, don't play it. But if you make a lot of tokens, or if like Kevin makes a lot of tokens, get after it. Velox, you probably will. I will be around all weekend. I'm very tall. I'm very white. The light reflects off my head very well. I should be easy to find. And if anybody else is going to be at PAX Unplugged, come find me. Big Stompy, probably not going to be that great for you then. Congregate's typically really good when somebody's going super wide. Can we make out sloppy style? Absolutely not. No chance. Alec Man, you'll probably... I don't even know if we can do it December 4th. Damn, we might be... If we get a custom card stream, the next one is probably going to be on a weekend. It will have to be ad hoc. I will probably have to announce it week of, because the 20th, we are going to be getting ready to leave for PAX. The 27th, we are going to be flying back from Scrybabies. The 4th, I am going to be in Florida for no reason. For no reason. Would Unstoppable Plan untap Earthbent lands? Holy Chief, I don't want this to feel condescending. I think this is going to be a moment of great ownership and great level up for you. I want you to sound out the sentence with me. Would a card that untaps my non-land cards untap my Earthbent lands? I know there's some party that was like, oh, but they're also creatures. I know that's what got you. I know that's what got you. But would a card that untaps things that are not lands untap my lands? And that is that type of like exclusive versus inclusive language. Because if you had a thing that said untap all your creatures, that would work. The Earthbent lands are now creatures too. But when it says untap a non-something, it means if it is that something, exclude it. Exclude it. If it's also one of the categories that would be affected, doesn't matter. It has to not be this category. And because it's that category at all, go fuck yourself. But if you had like this, that works. Because it just needs them to be creatures. It doesn't need them to not be lands. It doesn't need them to not be artifacts. It doesn't need them to not be enchantments. But when you see non-blank, that means we're going exclusionary. Oh, excellent. Then I'm glad this could help. All right. We're going to look for a raid because Tromidlov, Drollmine, and the Second Coming of Irish Webster are not here. We're going to be back tomorrow, potentially roasting Lulu's deck. And Lulu, I'm going to try to go live about a half hour early for you. Roasting Lulu's deck and then drafting. I don't even know if it's actually on Arena. Hold on. Tuesday? Fucking shit, bitch, damn come, dude. Okay. Reassessing. Live switch up. Tomorrow, we are going live a little bit early. We're roasting Lulu's deck. Then we are playing XCOM War of the Chosen. I am going to use the Twitch integration. And so Twitch chat, you will be able to speak as a soldier. You will be able to emote live. We will be able to raffle off positions in the army live. So tomorrow's going to be that. Tuesday, we will do avatar drafting because that's when it comes out. Wednesday, we will have more deck roasting, and then we're off for like a week. Now let's go find somebody to raid. We are going to hit somebody with Bald Kai. Let's see who we're hitting. Ames is live. We're going to raid Ames. They are playing Arc Raiders if you are interested in PvE shooters. Everybody be nice to them. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for being here today. Expect a free count update later after I get this ad done, and expect an ad on a long form next week. I appreciate all of your generosity, all of your support. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and please remember to stay toxic. Twitch and YouTube, that's just it for us, but I'll be live again tomorrow.